So if I'm constantly worrying, feeling anxious, or doom scrolling through negative news, I'm essentially sending stress signals to my cells all day long.
That's right. And as we discussed earlier, those signals can lead to a cascade of metabolic changes that hinder energy production and increase inflammation.
Welcome to Philosopher Insights, the podcast that delivers wisdom in minutes a day that you can put into practice daily and strive to master over a lifetime.
The podcast committed to sharing ideas that encourage you to bridge the gap between who you are today and the person you aspire to be in the future.
Hi, my name is Herb Lamba, and welcome to my podcast, where I will share practical insights from the world's best authors.
Knowledge isn't power. Applied knowledge is. The quest to become the best version of you starts right now.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. Today, I'm trying something a little different. You might have noticed that I've cut back to just 2 episodes a month. The reason? I'm really aiming to carve out more time for some of my personal goals while still keeping this podcast growing strong. Now, let me share something super exciting. I recently discovered an incredible AI tool called Notebook LM from Google. Seriously, this AI tool blew my mind to the point where it almost felt like when I first heard about ChatGPT. If you want to completely revolutionize the way you learn, I urge you to check it out. Now, I want to be completely transparent about how today's episode came together. I used Notebook LM to create a conversation between 2 AI voices, discussing the book Good Energy by Dr. Casey Means, based on the info that I provided it. It's a fascinating way to explore ideas and insights, and a great way to learn new content. I'll be sticking to my regular episodes every 2 weeks, but I'm also excited to explore these conversational episodes to enhance our learning experience together. So let's jump in and see how this unfolds.
Today, we're tackling Dr. Casey Means' book, Good Energy.
Okay. It's amazing how much we've been missing by focusing only on treating diseases instead of understanding their root causes.
It does feel like we're finally starting to connect those dots, right? And Dr. Means jumps right in, claiming that most chronic diseases, diabetes, heart disease, even some cancers,
Oh, wow.
could be linked to one major culprit: poor metabolic function.
And this is where it gets really fascinating. Metabolic function is essentially how our cells generate energy from the food we eat. It's like the intricate network of power grids that keep a city running.
Right.
If the grid is faulty, the entire city suffers, no matter how much power is potentially available.
So even if we're eating the right amount, if our cells aren't processing that energy effectively, the whole system is out of whack.
Exactly.
Makes you wonder why we don't hear more about this.
It's a conversation that's long overdue, and thankfully, Dr. Means has some passionate voices backing her up. We're talking big names like Jillian Michaels.
Oh, wow.
And even former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Admiral Mike Mullen, praising the book.
Endorsements from fitness gurus to top military leaders that speaks volumes.
I know, right?
It's not just about weight loss, it's about unlocking your body's full potential no matter who you are. But it does sound like Dr. Means sees some flaws in how we currently approach healthcare.
She definitely doesn't shy away from that. Dr. Means criticizes the system's focus on symptom management rather than addressing the root cause.
Okay, so what can we do about it? We can't exactly stage a healthcare system overhaul overnight.
It can feel daunting, but knowledge is power. Dr. Means wants to equip us to become our own health advocates.
Love that. It's about taking control, right?
Yeah.
So what's the first step in becoming a metabolically savvy self-advocate?
One statistic from the source material really struck me. Less than 17% of healthcare providers recommend exercise to their patients.
Seriously? That's shocking. You'd think in our health-conscious world that number would be much higher.
Exactly. It highlights a potential gap in our approach to health.
Yeah.
Dr. Means suggests that many doctors may not have adequate training in nutrition or the time to address the complexities of metabolic health during a standard appointment. The system often prioritizes treating symptoms over preventative measures, like diet and lifestyle changes.
It sounds like we're stuck in a bit of a cycle. Patients need help, but doctors might not have the tools or resources to give it, even if they want to. So where do we go from here?
That's where Good Energy comes in.
Okay.
Dr. Means offers a clear path forward, starting with what we put on our plates.
Let's talk food. What's the gist of Dr. Means' Good Energy diet? Is it another restrictive fad?
Not at all. It's about understanding that food is information for our cells.
Okay.
The nutrients we consume directly impact our energy production.
So it's like choosing the right fuel for your car.
Yes.
Or maybe the right software for your computer. You wouldn't put diesel in a gasoline engine or try to run the latest game on a 20-year-old operating system.
Exactly. It's about giving our cells what they need to thrive. Dr. Means is all about whole, unprocessed foods grown in nutrient-rich soil.
Right.
What your food eats matters.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Give me the specifics. What are some of these good energy foods we should be loading up on?
Think nutrient-dense, fiber-rich, and probiotic-packed goodness.
Okay.
We're talking fruits, vegetables, healthy fats from sources like avocados and olive oil, and fermented foods like yogurt and kimchi.
Okay.
These foods are packed with vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants that support our cells' energy production.
It's funny how the most common sense advice, like eating your fruits and veggies, always turns out to be the most powerful.
It really is. And when we talk about nutrient density, we're talking about things like magnesium,
Right.
which plays a vital role in over 300 enzymatic reactions in the body, many related to energy production.
Wow.
Or polyphenols,
Okay.
powerful antioxidants found in berries and leafy greens
Right.
that protect our cells from damage.
Okay, so it's not just about eating clean. It's about making sure we're getting a diverse range of nutrients that our cells can actually use.
Right.
It's like providing all the right building blocks for a strong and efficient energy system.
Exactly.
What about those bad energy foods Dr. Means wants us to avoid?
The usual suspects top the list.
Okay.
Refined sugars,
Right.
processed industrial oils,
Yeah.
and overly refined grains.
Okay.
These foods can send our blood sugar on a roller coaster, leading to energy crashes and cravings.
Right.
Plus, they lack the essential nutrients our cells need to thrive.
So it's like putting junk food in your gas tank.
Yeah.
You might get a temporary burst of energy,
Yeah.
but it's ultimately going to damage your engine in the long run. It makes sense that what we eat directly impacts our mitochondria.
Precisely. Those tiny powerhouses within our cells are responsible for converting the food we eat into usable energy. When we flood our system with bad energy foods, we're essentially stressing out our mitochondria, making them less efficient over time.
Oh, I never thought about it like that.
Yeah.
But it makes total sense.
It is fascinating.
It's like we've been overlooking the most important players in the energy game, our own cells. But it sounds like diet is just one piece of the puzzle. Dr. Means also talks about these good energy habits that go beyond the plate.
Right.
I have a feeling I know what's coming first.
Sleep.
You got it.
Yeah.
I'm already feeling guilty about last night's Netflix binge. But seriously, why is sleep so crucial for our metabolic health?
Think of sleep as your body's nightly maintenance window. While you're catching those Z's, your body is hard at work, repairing cellular damage, balancing hormones, and clearing out toxins that can hinder energy production.
So if we're skimping on sleep, we're essentially running on fumes.
Right.
With our internal repair crew unable to keep up.
It's a great analogy.
Thanks.
And it's not just about the quantity of sleep, but also the quality.
Right.
Dr. Means talks about the importance of aligning our sleep patterns with our natural circadian rhythm.
Okay, break that down for me.
Okay.
What exactly is our circadian rhythm? And why should we care?
It's essentially our internal clock, a 24-hour cycle that regulates a wide range of bodily functions, including hormone production, body temperature, and, you guessed it, energy levels.
Okay, so our bodies are designed to operate on this natural ebb and flow of energy throughout the day.
Yeah.
Makes sense why we feel more alert during the day and sleepy at night.
Exactly. And exposure to light and darkness is a key regulator of this rhythm. When we're exposed to sunlight, particularly in the morning, it signals to our bodies to suppress melatonin, the hormone that makes us sleepy, and boost cortisol, which helps us feel awake and energized.
Okay.
As the sun sets, melatonin production naturally increases, preparing our bodies for sleep.
Which is probably why staring at our screens all night long isn't doing us any favors.
Exactly. The blue light emitted from our devices can interfere with melatonin production, making it harder to fall asleep and stay asleep. We end up disrupting our natural circadian rhythm, which can throw off our energy levels, mood, and even our metabolism in the long run.
So less scrolling, more sunrises. I can get behind that.
Yeah.
But sometimes life gets in the way and stress becomes inevitable.
Yeah.
How does stress impact our metabolic health?
When we experience chronic stress, our bodies go into that fight or flight mode, releasing hormones like cortisol and adrenaline.
Okay.
This response is designed to help us deal with immediate threats. But when it's constantly activated, it can wreak havoc on our metabolic health.
It's like our bodies are stuck in overdrive, diverting energy away from essential functions to deal with a perceived threat.
Right.
Even if that threat is just a looming deadline or an overflowing inbox.
It's easy to underestimate the impact our mental state has on our physical well-being.
Yeah.
When we're chronically stressed, our cells are less efficient at using glucose for energy.
Right.
We tend to store more fat, and our mitochondria, those cellular powerhouses, don't function as well.
It sounds like stress is like a sneaky saboteur of our metabolic health. What can we do to mitigate its effects?
Dr. Means provides some great strategies for managing stress and shifting our bodies out of that fight or flight mode. And no, it doesn't have to involve spending hours in meditation or chanting mantras,
Okay.
although those can be helpful.
Give me the good stuff. What are some practical ways to de-stress and give ourselves a break?
Exercise is one of the most powerful tools we have.
I knew you were going to say that, but I have to admit, when I'm feeling stressed, working out is usually the last thing I want to do.
I get it, but hear me out.
Okay.
It's not just about burning calories or building muscle. Exercise actually helps to regulate our stress response.
Okay, explain it to me like I'm 5. How does moving our bodies actually help our minds chill out?
When we exercise, our bodies release endorphins, which have mood-boosting and pain-reducing effects.
Yeah.
Think of them as our natural stress relievers.
Okay.
Plus, exercise helps to improve our insulin sensitivity, meaning our cells become better at utilizing glucose for energy, which can further help to regulate our energy levels and reduce stress.
So it's not just about looking good in a bathing suit. It's about feeling good from the inside out. It's about optimizing our cells' ability to handle stress and create energy efficiently. Any other surprising stress-busting strategies Dr. Means recommends?
One that's often overlooked is temperature exposure.
Okay.
It sounds a bit extreme, but exposing ourselves to both heat and cold can actually do wonders for our metabolic health and stress resilience.
Wait, are you talking about cold showers and saunas? Because I have to say, I'm intrigued, but also a little terrified. Cold showers and saunas, it's not exactly your typical self-care routine,
Right.
but I'm willing to bet there's some fascinating science behind it.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Our ancestors were exposed to natural variations in temperature throughout the day and year.
Right.
Their bodies adapted to handle those fluctuations, and our cells still crave those challenges today.
So we've essentially created this artificial temperature-controlled bubble that's messing with our natural resilience.
In a way, yes.
Okay.
Our bodies have this incredible ability to adapt and thrive when challenged, and temperature exposure is a prime example of that.
Okay, let's break it down.
Okay.
Let's talk about cold exposure first.
Okay.
What happens when we subject our bodies to those bracing cold showers?
One fascinating effect is the activation of brown fat. Unlike white fat, which stores energy, brown fat actually burns energy to generate heat.
Wait, there's good fat.
Right.
I'm liking where this is going.
Brown fat is like our internal furnace,
Okay.
and cold exposure is like hitting the on switch.
Yeah.
It helps boost our metabolism, improve insulin sensitivity,
Right.
and even enhance cardiovascular health.
So those cold showers are like a jump start for our metabolic engines.
Exactly.
What about the other end of the spectrum? What's the
Yeah.
deal with saunas?
Saunas offer a different kind of challenge,
Okay.
but with equally impressive benefits.
Right.
The heat from a sauna can improve blood flow,
Okay.
reduce inflammation,
Uh-huh.
and even promote cellular repair processes.
So it's like giving our cells a rejuvenating spa day.
Precisely. And because our bodies have to work harder to maintain a stable internal temperature in the heat, regular sauna use can actually lead to adaptations that make us more resilient to stress in general.
This is also fascinating. It makes you realize how interconnected our bodies are. We've talked about diet, sleep, stress, temperature.
Right.
Is there anything else we're missing in this quest for optimal metabolic health?
Dr. Means also talks about the importance of sunlight exposure for regulating our circadian rhythm.
Right.
But beyond that,
Okay.
she dives into something that I think is crucial, the mind-body connection.
Something people talk about a lot, but Dr. Means seems to be saying that it's actually happening at a cellular level.
Exactly. Our mental and emotional states have a profound impact on our physical health, and that includes our metabolic function.
Okay.
Remember that fight or flight response we talked about earlier?
Yes.
Well, it turns out that our thoughts and feelings can trigger that response just as powerfully as external stressors.
So if I'm constantly worrying, feeling anxious, or doom scrolling through negative news, I'm essentially sending stress signals to my cells all day long.
That's right. And as we discussed earlier, those signals can lead to a cascade of metabolic changes that hinder energy production and increase inflammation.
It's almost as if our cells are eavesdropping on our thoughts and responding accordingly.
It really is fascinating, isn't it?
So how do we cultivate a more positive internal dialogue that supports our metabolic health?
Dr. Means emphasizes the importance of self-kindness. Stress-reducing practices like meditation or spending time in nature
Right.
and nurturing strong social connections.
Yeah.
When we feel supported, loved, and connected,
Yeah.
our bodies release hormones like oxytocin,
Okay.
which has been shown to have anti-inflammatory effects and promote cellular repair.
So it's not just about what we put in our bodies, but also what we put into our minds and hearts.
It's a holistic approach.
Yeah.
It really is.
Our cells are listening to it all.
They are.
Dr. Means' book really connects the dots between so many aspects of our health.
It really does.
It's a lot to take in.
It is, but it's exciting stuff.
It is exciting.
Yeah.
Once we understand these connections, we can start making conscious choices that support our metabolic health and unlock our full energy potential.
Exactly.
Exactly. We're not just at the mercy of our genes or our environment.
We're not powerless.
We have the power to influence our health at the most fundamental level, our cells.
I love that.
If you had to leave our listeners with just one takeaway from this deep dive into good energy,
Yeah.
what would it be?
I'd encourage everyone listening to ask themselves this. What small change can I make today to nudge my cells toward good energy?
Okay.
It doesn't have to be a drastic overhaul. Start small, be consistent,
Right.
and listen to your body's wisdom.
Such great advice. It's about those little tweaks and shifts in perspective that can lead to big changes over time.
Exactly.
This has been an amazing journey into the world of metabolic health. Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep unlocking your good energy.
You've been listening to Philosopher Insights with your host, Herb Lambert. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to support the podcast, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or leave a rating and review. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.